Hi, welcome to the Maximum Speed Racing Nationwide. We're at beautiful Rockingham Speedway, North Carolina. Sunny winter day out, partly cloudy. Really great day for racing here at the Rock. Guys are getting their last practice laps in before the qualifying session coming up here shortly. Today's race is sponsored by Michael's Angelo's Painting. You're in the Phoenix area and you need house paint, please contact Michelangelo's Painting. Looking ahead at our schedule for this Maximum Speed Racing Nationwide Series, we're on the second round of a 12-round session here at Rockingham. Last week, Travis Townsend won the Daytona Oval race for the first win of the season. And we got our points over here where Travis Townsend is leading the points over Thomas Lee. David Shutt, third. Dustin Lee in fourth. McCoon Jr. in fifth. Actually tied for fourth with McCoon Jr. with Dustin Lee. So there's your top five in the points. It's pretty early in the season to be looking at points, but I tell you what, those guys are always thinking about them out there and trying to get the finishes and get those points necessary to be in that top 10 throughout that season and come home solid. Race control giving last minute information to the drivers. We just finished up the driver meeting a few minutes ago. Got to sit in on that and hear what everyone has been told. Not a lot of laps out here under practice with everybody. A little surprising there. There's some drivers out here that are running all the time, but only a handful out of a couple dozen drivers we have in this room. Looking at that 11 car, the Joker's Wild Ford Mustang, Edward Smith from Florida. And he spins it down the backstretch. Resets the pit road. Picking up on Kevin O'Brien in the 84 car. Looks like he's got a new paint job I haven't seen before with the Hoonigan Racing Division, powered by Ford Eco car. Pretty fancy, pretty busy. A lot of purple dots on there on blue and black. Monster along the side. And he spins it down the backstretch too. That coming off 2 is going to be a hot area for sure. We'll have to take a look at what's going on in the booth, but looks like Roger Wagner has qualified for the event. And race control has put him behind the wall and parked his team for the night. Not sure what's happened there. We'll see if we get a report from the tower and what's going on, and we'll let you all know when we know. Picking up on that 51 out there in practice. He is loose and is dirt tracking it around that corner in turn 2. Gets it down on the apron, but keeps it off the wall there. Oh, and he puts it into the sand barrels there at the end of the back pit road. Finishing up practice here before we get into qualifying. Got a few cars out there. Checking out the 45 of Andrew Williams from Australia, down under, in that white 45. Going to refresh my paints and make sure I match up with the broadcast. I know these guys work really hard on their paint. We like to showcase them on the broadcast and show you guys what they look like. And sometimes a lot of hard work goes into these, and some really neat new paints out there today. So I want to make sure we take a look. Derek Cormier is spun off in 4 there and resets the pit road. We're in the final few seconds of our practice before we go into our qualifying session. Thanks for joining us on the Maximum Speed Racing Nationwide Series at Rockingham, North Carolina. Really close to a lot of the race teams from NASCAR too. And there's the checkered flag for practice as they put out the black and red flags. Everyone will pull it into pit road and prepare for qualifying. Driver will get a cold drink. They'll put some tape on the front of that car and close off the radiator openings and go see what they got. Let's take a moment and thank our sponsor tonight, Michael Angelo's Painting. If you have any painting needs in the Phoenix, Arizona area, please call 480-510-3388. Please join us every week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursday night for the Maximum Speed Racing Nationwide Series. We're on the second of a 12-week schedule at Rockingham, North Carolina. 75 laps tonight. We got the weather of 65 degrees with no wind, relative humidity of 55 degrees, nice and cool. These cars are gonna stick. Let's take a look at the points. Travis Townsend is our point leader with his win last week at the Daytona Oval. Thomas Lee is second, 5 points back. David Shutt runs third in points, 7 points back. Dustin Lee fourth. And Danny McCoon Jr. is actually tied for fourth at 10 points back. And that's your top 5 in points. Let's see how that goes as we go forward. Picking up the qualifying action, we do have a few drivers that have put in lap times already, with Thomas Brandner leading the way at a 23.3. Great lap. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to sit out qualifying. This is a long race at 75 laps. There's bound to be an early caution, but last week I said that and we didn't get it. So don't listen to what I have to say about that. But seriously, folks, this is a tough track. We've seen in practice a lot of people spinning off of turn two. That wall really closes up on you quick, and we'll have to see how it goes. But right now, Dustin Lee takes the pole with a 23.28 provisional pole.
Hey guys, one of you guys need to update their trading paints because it's not coming over the broadcast right. Sorry to bother you in the booth.
Thanks, Ed.
You're welcome.
Yeah, like Ed said, a lot of people are looking for those paints, and we need to do a refresh of the paints and make sure we got everyone's new paint job up there. Dustin Lee is your provisional pole sitter with a 23.28. Thomas Branner, 23.3. Christopher Perryman, 23.6 in third place. Rounding out your top five, Ryan Eckstein, 23.6. And Tom Serrato in the 41 with a 23.8. Got about 1 minute left in qualifying. 10 cars have taken time. I think we have well over 20 entries tonight. So a lot of people electing to not qualify or wait to the last minute and try to get the perfect conditions as far as cloud cover. There's some other advantages of waiting too, and see what kind of lap times other people put up, so you have an idea of a goal to hit. All right, yeah, do a Control R to refresh trading paints. Shout out to the guys over at tradingpaints.com, Sean and Steve Lavender. Those guys rock. They updated their service. I hope everybody is using it to have quite a few new features that I'm really enjoying, including league-specific paints. So I have a paint set up just for maximum speed racing that's branded with maximum speed racing, and I run it when I run league races with this league. Trading Paints, make sure to go check them out. Dustin Lee is your pole sitter. We only had the 10 cars qualifying. Everyone else is decided to not qualify. And we're on grid. Everyone's gridding up. Starting on the pole, Dustin Lee in the 51 car. Still waiting for him to jump on the grid there. There he is in the Olive Hill welding car. On his outside, Thomas Brander in the 24 DuPont Chevy. Third, Christopher Perryman in the 21. Running fourth, Ryan Eckstein in the Wrangler 22. Running fifth, Tom Serrato in the Ragu car. Mark Robertson in the 6, Canada Lime Green 40. Jonathan Thomas in the 10, Wix Filters car. Robert Craze in the 00, with it looks like Ned Jarrett, 1965 Grand National Champion signature on the hood, with a, also says 427 cubic inches under there. Let's make sure he goes through post-race inspection with that car. Number 9, running out 9th, Derek Cormier. Rounding out the top 10, Edward Smith in that Joker's Wild Ford Mustang. Thomas Lee did not qualify, and he's in that Ream Chevy 33. Starting 13th, Michael Norris in the 54. Looks like he's having a problem, or he's going to the end of the line. Ed Hewitt is out there in the 30. HelpMyCar.com, Napa Auto Center, Ford Mustang. Kevin O'Brien starting 19th. And a really busy paint job, the Hoonigan Racing Division, powered by Ford EcoBoost Ford Mustang. Nice looking paint, Kevin. And I think that's everybody.
Green, green, green.
And we're green. Not sure what happened there to Dustin Lee. Our pole sitter, he ended up in the back, and that's how come I missed the green. But out front, Thomas Brander, the 24 DuPont Chevy, takes the lead with Christopher Perryman right behind him in that 21. Dustin Lee probably decided to take an EOL at the last second. I'm not sure what happened there. But regardless, Thomas Brander showing the way. Looks like the 45 of Andrew Williams slow down there on the apron, and they've gone a lap down already. Not sure what happened to Andrew. Brander and the DuPont Chevy continues to show the way. Perryman at the 21, second. Third, Ryan Eckstein at the 22. Looking on Perryman, right there on it. And then right behind them, Mark Robinson in the 40. That lime green, really easy to see on the track. Back in 5th place is Dustin Lee, who again had started towards the back there at the beginning. He made up quite a bit of ground there, up to 5th now. We have a gap from 5th back to 6th place, where we have the 84, Kevin O'Brien, followed by Tom Strasser.
Caution's out.
Caution is out.
Real quick, bud.
I missed it. Looks like Ed Hewitt is in the wall under caution and collects Tommy Lee in the 33. I'm going to roll back on Ed Hewitt in the 30 car and see if we can find out what happened here. Yeah, he just drives it into 1 there, and he's a little high, and the back end just swaps. Well, I'd almost say that looks like a tire going down or something. Broken the suspension. Well, boy, that thing snapped. Lots of tire smoke, bunch of cars coming at him. He gets it down on the apron, it hits that inner wall. Not too much damage, but it spins again as he tries to get back up to speed there. He hits the gas again, and it goes into the wall and collects Thomas Lee, who's trying to go by on the outside under caution. Tough break for Tommy Lee. As Ed Hewitt gets to pit road and gets some repairs needed, he's definitely sidetracking that car. He's looking out the side window for sure. sawing on that wheel, trying to keep that car going straight as he brings it down onto pit road. 84 Kevin O'Brien on pit road. The 41 Ragu car of Tom Serrato is on pit road. I believe that's going to hand the lead over to Christopher Perryman in the 21 car. Now, I asked the drivers before the race in the pre-drivers meeting, what is the fuel window here? And I really didn't get an answer. I don't think anyone's worried about a fuel window. There's going to be cautions. Tires are going to be more of an issue than fuel at this particular track. As we watch Ed Hewitt and that helpmycar.com. Helpmycar.com is what it is. I needed to check. He did get reset. Car looks good now, so good news there for Ed Hewitt. They are doubling up here. Christopher Perryman is going to be our leader with Ryan Eckstein on the outside. Thomas Brander back to third in 24 DuPont. Dustin Lee up to fourth now after starting in the back there at the beginning. Lap 9 of 75, coming to lap 10. You want to make sure not to spin these tires, the guys that did not pit here. And the pace car pulls off.
Green flag.
And we're green. A little delay there getting to the green, but 21 of Christopher Perryman powers out to the lead and stays on the bottom. This is really a one-groove racetrack through 1 and 2, and if you're anywhere but the bottom, you're going to be slow. As 24, Thomas Brander dives it in there as the 21 of Chris Perryman gets up into the wall after driving way too deep into 3 and 4. Powers back to the lead. We're under caution. Looking around to see what happened. Looks like the 41 of Tom Serrato has had an issue. Checking out the 41 replay on lap 10 of Tom Serrato in that Ragu car. Net code big time. The 84 of Kevin O'Brien actually hit the wall, came down a little bit, but didn't actually touch the 41. But of course, netcode pushed the 21 down. Pausing right at the instant of impact, you can see almost a foot and a half between those two cars. They didn't physically touch. But boy, it turned that 41 hard left into the inside wall. And the 45 comes by and collects him big time of Andrew Williams from Australia. And that 41 car is done. He better hopes he has a reset. I counted 9 flips there for the 41 of Tom Serrato. Somehow, some way, he's making his way to pit road. He's right ahead of the pace car in the field, though. He's going to have to work quickly to get that reset and get back out and not lose a lap. Not lose another lap. He's down a lap already. We have 14 cars on the lead lap. Tom Serrato is running 15th. It does look like he's going to get lapped. He is not going to beat the field out. And he does not have a reset, it appears. Damage continues to show on that car with 9 different flips. He's probably going to have to pull that behind the wall for extensive repairs. Actually, wait, it just reset on my screen. He did have a reset. I gave it to him after the 4 tires, and he's good to go. He is in a lucky dog position, so another quick caution is going to help out Tom Serrato. Looks like Kevin O'Brien is pulling down the pit road. The 54 Western Auto of Michael Norris is pulling down on pit road. And the 3 of Derek Cormier is also on pit road. Getting that fresh rubber, topping off the fuel. Nothing feels better than 4 good years, especially around this rough track. And we're green. Perryman drives it in there, keeps it on the bottom. He is your leader. Dustin Lee in second, Thomas Brander in third. Ryan Eckstein fourth, Robert Craze and that 00 in fifth. Thomas Lee in the 33 looking underneath Robert Craze for that 5th position. And he gets it. If you're on that bottom, that's the place to be for sure. The 51 gets really loose coming off the 2 and loses second place to Thomas Brander. He saves it. What a save. These tires have got to be superheated now. You just got to hold on and try to keep position. Thomas Brander a little loose there off of 2 as well, and loose getting into 3, but he is making up ground on the leader, Christopher Merriman. He got the inside line, the preferred line. He's going to come out of turn 2 here with the lead, and Dustin Lee is going through, as well as 22 of Brian Eckstein. This is how you get freight train at Rockingham. Well, from 1st to 4th, Perryman catches his breath and tries to get that thing back down to the bottom. And we got another race for the lead up here as Dustin Lee's on the outside of Thomas Brander. And they're side by side for the lead. Dustin Lee is driving that thing hard. He is your leader on that lap. Drives it down to the inside. And collects that first position from Thomas Brander in second. And now Ryan takes a look under Thomas. I wonder if Thomas is struggling. Ryan drives it in there deep and goes up into the high groove, but keeps the position. pretty much lined up here. I was just looking through the field here. Looks like the 10 of Jonathan Thomas is on pit road in that mixed filters car, getting serviced, showing 3 laps down. Tom Serrato is out there 1 lap down, still in the lucky dog spot after that horrible 9-turn twisting caution flip he did. He's back out there hoping for that caution. But meanwhile up front, Dustin Lee continues to show the way. Let's take a look through the field here. Starting with Dustin Lee in that looks like Charlie Brown Chevy Impala car. Looking good out there. He almost lost it off to that 1 lap, but it looks like his tires have cooled down and everyone has gotten in line. Running in second, the 22, Wrangler Jeans Chevy of Brian Eckstein. In third, Thomas Brander in that DuPont Chevy. He continues to saw his way to the front. Christopher Perryman in the 21, running fourth in that U.S. Security Associates Chevy Impala. Running fifth, Thomas Lee in that 33 Rheem Chevy. Remember, we saw him collected up with Ed Hewitt on that previous caution. He did get his reset, and he's back out there running fifth. Running sixth, Mark Robertson in that Canada lime green Chevy. And running seventh, the 30 of Ed Hewitt in that HelpMyCar.com Napa Chevy. Good recovery after being caught up in that wreck in one of those early cautions. Running eighth, Kevin O'Brien in the 84. Hoonigan Racing Division Ford Mustang. Must be an Australian thing there, the Hoonigan thing. I'll have to ask Kevin about that afterwards. 10 seconds back is the 45 of Andrew Williams in his Ford Mustang. Rounding out the top 10, Michael Norris in that Western Auto Chevy Impala. Running 11th, Derek Cormier in his Chevy Impala, number 3. Right behind him is the 11 of Edward Smith in that really neat looking Joker's Wild Ford Mustang. Final car on the lead lap is Robert Graves in that 00 Ned Jarrett car. It looks like he has some damage on his right front. That whole fender is caved in a little bit. He's going to want to get that repaired. The hood's bent up a little bit. I'm sure it's not running very well. Looks like he got the wall pretty good at some point. Tom Serrato is the final car on track in that Ragu 41. 1 lap down, still waiting for that lucky dog. And behind the wall, Jonathan Thomas, 12 laps down. Back up front again, Thomas Brandner is the leader at this point. And we have caution, I hear. Looking for the caution now. Looks like the 30 of Ed Hewitt is having a problem again. I just saw him hit the wall under caution. Yeah, lap 30, if you look at the 30 car of Ed Hewitt, taking a look at the replay, he's on the outside there, coming up on the backstretch and just runs out of room and nails the wall. Comes back down to the inside and collects the safety barrier on the inside. They got both the outside and inside here. Pulls back up, but the steering is broke and can't get it on track. Comes to another stop. Tries to straighten out the car. He's got a tie rod broken there. I can see that left front staggered out. He gets going on the apron, pulls back up on the banking here. It's able to get it going down the front stretch past the flag stand. I believe under caution, he hit the outside wall again where the steering looks like it turned abruptly to the right. So tough break with Ed Hewitt. It looks like a couple times he's had steering problems today. So looking at the running order live here, Andrew Williams looks like he stayed out and did not pit, and he is behind the pace car for a wave around. NASCAR saw a wave around at 1 to go. And Thomas Brander is our leader in the 24 DuPont Chevy. Dustin Lee in second. Looks like Thomas Lee has made it up to third. Ryan Eckstein in fifth. I am going to roll back quickly to lap 32 and check out the pit stops. It looks like most of the cars come down and Ed Hewitt hits the inside barrier of pit road there and wrecks his car again. The steering problems continue for Ed. Covering the leader's pit stop there. It looks like they're all going for 4. And back to live shots here. We're about to go green. They're doubled up. It looks like I was mistaken about Andrew Williams. He's not a wave around. He is our leader in that 45 Ford Mustang. Thomas Brander on the outside. I do not think he stopped. He holds the lead for now, but Thomas Brander powers by on the outside with those 4 fresh tires. Thomas Lee going with him. And Andrew Williams pulls down to the apron wisely and gets out of the way. Thomas Brander continues to lead in that 24 DuPont. Thomas Lee in second, Dustin Lee in third, Ryan Eckstein in fourth, Christopher Perryman in fifth, Kevin O'Brien sixth, and something's wrong with Thomas Brander. He goes wide there. Thomas Lee goes by, takes the lead. We have a new leader. We just had somebody else wreck at the end of pit road. That looked like Kevin O'Brien. Yeah, Kevin O'Brien has put it into the water barrels, Matt Kenseth style, like we saw Matt Kenseth do at Dover one time, and he pulls it behind the wall. Tough break for Kevin O'Brien. We are under caution. All right, let's take a rolling back to 40. Let's take a look at what happened with him. I think this was an addition to what happened to Kevin O'Brien, what he went through trying to get onto pit road. Taking a look now at the 40 replay. Looks like the 21 had a tire pop or something. 40 went up around 21, gets barely touched, and spins it around in 1 and 2. Somehow keeps it off the wall, but barely comes down and touches the inside. That will bring out the caution. And we see Mark Robertson on pit road right now getting tires. Looking to see if anyone pitted here. So Kevin O'Brien behind the wall with repairs. That's the second time we've seen somebody hit the water barrels at the end of pit road. Ed Hewitt hit it, and then Kevin O'Brien hit it. Maybe they need to move those or something. Let's see if we can get an interview with our leader, Thomas Lee.
For a top finish, man, and I think first of the series.
I got him. Tommy Lee, Mike Ellis up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, didn't pit that pit stop. How you thinking it's going to play out here? Thomas Brander's been looking pretty good there, really staying up front.
Yeah, I got pretty loose there at the beginning and dropped way back, and then whenever Ed's he got loose in 1 and 2 one time, and I just barely touched the brake to keep from running up on him, and I spun down to the apron, so I had to make up time like that, and then just trying to make my way back up through here. I really like this track, so I'm hoping this is going to work out pretty good.
Well, 10-4, we haven't had a long run on tires. You think the tires are going to hold up if we stay green here?
No, not at all.
All right, well, good luck out there, and see if you can bring it home.
Thanks, sir.
Well, there you heard it from our leader, Thomas Lee. Motorsports is an interesting sport where you can actually talk to the competitor during the event in certain cases. And we're lucky here at Max Speed Racing to have a great group of drivers out here on track, all fighting their guts out for the win. We're doubled up, ready to go back to green. Looks like we have 4 cars off track with damage, with 11 cars left on the pit on the track. Pace cars down. Thomas Lee brings them down.
Ready, green
And
flag.
we're green. Thomas Lee fights hard on the outside. P1, Dustin Lee gets up there under Thomas Lee and pushes a little bit. Tries to get a little arrow push going there. Thomas Lee gets clear and is our leader. These top 4 are not giving up any inches at all. Dustin Lee's a little loose there coming off 4. Michael Norris in that 54 made it to the top 5 for the first time today in that Western Auto Park. And we got a run for the lead here, 24. Thomas Brander looking underside. Thomas Lee. And he's inside. He's going to take the lead, going down into 1. Thomas gives him lots of room. Like we heard from the driver, tires are going to be a factor. You got to save them. Makes you wonder if Thomas Brander's using up his tires. Thomas Lee trying to save them. As Dustin Lee goes underneath, Lee is shoves it in there, and he gets by. 22 of Ryan Eckstein follows right through. That puts Thomas Lee back to fourth. Looks like the top five are breaking away from the others quite a bit. We got about a 20 car length gap there. As these cars start to string out, Thomas Brander with a 0.6 lead showing the way. Thank you for joining us on Maximum Speed Racing for our nationwide series. The 12-week schedule. We're on week 2 here at Rockingham, North Carolina. To follow through to third place. Looks like Brander is a little bit slower than the others coming off the corner. That could be a wearing of rubber. Our pole setter Dustin Lee back out front. After having an interesting start. I still don't know what happened there at the beginning to make him not start with the pole. But he's back up there now, showing the way. Ryan Eckstein is right there, keeping him honest, though, in that 22. In fact, let's keep an eye on Ryan, and he's looking for the lead. Keeping within a car length of the leader there, and looking down on the inside as Dustin Lee goes a little bit high. You make sure he can see him in the mirror for sure there. But at this point, it's a matter, manage your tires, manage the race distance left, and to keep that track position if you can. Looks like Thomas Lee has settled in third place. Thomas Brander right behind him in fourth. You guys are lined up trying to catch these front two. It looks like Ryan Eckstein in 22 is just waiting in that Wrangler Chevy Impala for the right moment, saving his tires, waiting for Dustin Lee to use his up. Let's take this opportunity to go back through the field, starting with Dustin Lee in that 51, our pole sitter tonight at North Carolina Rockingham. Right behind him in the 22 in that Wrangler Impala, Ryan Eckstein. Running third, Thomas Lee in that Rheem Chevy, 33. Thomas Brander, we've seen in the top 5 all night. He's running fourth in that DuPont Chevy. Looking back at 5th and 6th place, side by side is Mark Robertson in that green Canada 40 car with the 21 of Christopher Perryman in that security Ford Mustang. It looks like Christopher Perryman gets the inside preferred lane and gets the position. Back in 7th in that Western Auto 54, Michael Norris having a good run tonight. Edward Smith has moved up. I believe he was last on that last restart. He's up to 8th in that 11th Ford Mustang. Joker's Wild. Andrew Williams in 10th, and that 45 Ford Mustang. And last car in the lead lap, Robert Craig, 17 seconds back in that 0-0 tribute car to Ned Jarrett, I believe it is. I'll have to check on that for the audience. I believe that's a Ned Jarrett's autograph on the front of that. And 4 cars behind the wall, Kevin O'Brien, Derek Cormier, Ed Hewitt, and Jonathan Thomas. Back up front, it looks like we did have a change for second. Thomas Lee is up to second in that 33 Reams, with Ryan Eckstein has fallen back from second to fourth. Didn't see what happened to Ryan there, but he is in fourth, hanging on in the top 5. Dustin Lee keeping a nice little gap amongst the other 3 cars behind him. About a 5-car length gap there. But we know Thomas Lee is managing his tires. We talked to him on the last caution, and he told us we were going to definitely going to be a factor. We're on lap 61 of 75. Getting closer to the end here. 14 to go. And all of a sudden, that gap is gone. Thomas Lee is about 2 car lengths back. Thomas Brander's coming with him. In fact, Thomas Brander gets a good run off of 2. Looking down inside Tommy Lee. Tommy gives it up. Thomas Brander to second in that DuPont Chevy. And Thomas Lee catches the wall coming out of 4. Trying to stay out of the way of those other cars. It looks like he caught the wall just a bit. Pancake that right side, but that's expected here at Rockingham. I'm sure he's probably okay. Thomas Brander is our leader. He got by Dustin Lee there. It makes a big gap for the lead. He is running. It is go time, apparently, for Thomas Brander and that DuPont Chevy. And you can tell the pitch of this race is picked up. Thomas Lee drives it into the inside of Ryan Eckstein, trying to get inside, going into 3. He's got the preferred position. Move him up to 3rd spot. Front 3 are spread out now. As you can tell, they're all running really hard. At this point, the tires are wore out. It's whatever you've saved. Thomas Brander coming to the green here, 10 to go. Going to take a quick look back and see what everyone else is doing here. Looks like everyone is spread out. In fact, we got our leader coming up on lap traffic. The 00, Robert Craig, finally goes the lap down. He yields to the leaders and goes really high in 1 and 2. Dustin Lee makes his way by the lap traffic. Thomas Lee makes his way by. Will lap traffic play into this race, and who wins? Next up to be lapped is the 45, Andrew Williams. Looks like he just touched the wall a little bit. That's got to be scary for Thomas Brander. Right behind him, leading this race with just a few laps to go. And the lead is extended now. Well over a second. It looks like maybe Dustin Lee has got through that lap traffic just a little bit slower than Thomas Brander. And that might have made the difference here. I believe Dustin Lee lost a half second to Thomas Brander in that exchange. Next up to be lapped is Edward Smith in the 11 car. Dustin Lee in second, Thomas Lee in third. They continue to try to hunt down Thomas Brander with a 2.2 second. Continues to extend this lead. It was 1.6 seconds, literally a lap ago. Thomas Brander continues to show the way here. Makes me want to check the points standing to see where he ended up last week. In fact, it doesn't even appear that he ran last week, so this is going to be a good points race for Thomas Brander. Dustin Lee continues to be in second at 2.7 seconds. We're on 2 to go. That 2.8 seconds. Thomas Brander shows the way over Dustin Lee and Thomas Lee. Ryan Eckstein in fourth. Christopher Perryman run out the top 5. And Thomas Brander is going to bring it home. White flag with a 3.3 second lead now. He continues to pick up almost a half a second a lap. And checkers for Thomas Brander in the 24 DuPont Chevy. Congratulations. Bringing it home second. Thomas Lee gets second from Dustin Lee. 4 seconds back. Ryan Eckstein in fourth. Christopher Perryman in fifth. Mark Robertson in sixth. We haven't talked about him much tonight. Great run for Mark. Michael Norris in seventh. And the last car in the lead lap, Tom Serrato. What a recovery. And that 41 finishing 8th. Let's see if we can get a word with our leader here, with our winner. Thomas Brander, Mike Ellis up in the booth. You got me? We'll try Thomas Brander, 24. You got me?
Oh, we in team speak?
10-4. Mike Ellis up in the booth. Congratulations on that win. Boy, I couldn't believe at the end there you were pulling up a half second a lap on those guys, second through fifth. What was going on?
Yeah, I knew the 51 and the 22 were both fast, but it was kind of their own fault. I'd let them get out there and just run their stuff off, and it was pretty easy to reel them right back in and then go around them. So it's all about conserving your tires here. Something I learned a long time ago, and me and my teammates did a great job tonight. Tommy Lee coming up second. Perryman was up there as well. So we had a fun night. Love this track.
Yeah, I figured you had run your tires off, and that's why you were fading back there on that earlier in that run. But in fact, you were just saving your rubber for a run there at the end. Congratulations. Great strategy. Great win. Do you have any shout outs tonight?
As always, I want to, tell my family back home I love them. Love Amber back in Pink Hill. And, Ultimate Body Shop in Kinston, they helped me a lot in my real racing. And you guys up in the booth and the IWCR. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Congratulations on winning the second event, Maximum Speed Racing Nationwide Series. Let's see if we can get a word with our second place driver, Thomas Lee. Thomas Lee, Mike Ellis up in the booth. You got me? All right, let's see if we can come back to Tommy. I don't think he's on headset. Let's pick up our third place driver, Dustin Lee. Dustin Lee, Mike Ellis up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations on your third place run there. Hey, tell me what happened at the beginning. You were pole sitter, but didn't start on the pole. I wasn't sure what happened.
Well, sorry about that, guys. I had it
Yeah.
muted.
Yeah. A little discrepancy, I guess, with the rules. I didn't understand it. I only did like 7 laps, but it registered 13 for me on my screen. So I guess 10 counted laps is what I didn't have. So I had to go to the back.
But I tell you what, there at the beginning, it didn't take you long to get back up there. You were up in 5th within just a few laps. But great run. You were in the top 5 most of the day there. Tell me about that last run and how much were you saving tires versus running hard?
Well, I really abused my tires at the first part of the race, getting up there. This last run, I got out front. I tried to save, but I think Brander just did a little bit better job saving his tires than what I did, and just really fell off there. And Tommy Lee, he had a little bit more left in the tank too there.
Yeah, I could certainly tell when you guys were going and when you were saving. But hey, great run all day today. Congratulations. You have any shout outs you need to give?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for doing this, and everybody for racing clean out there, and enjoy racing with them almost every day now. And sponsor Olive Hill Welding, and all the fans out there, I guess.
All right, congratulations, Dustin. Let's see if I can get Tommy Lee on, our second place finisher. Hey, Tommy Lee, it's Mike Ellis up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, Mike, sorry about that. I had my headset off.
Oh, no problem. Hey, it's a long, sweaty day out there, I bet. A lot of kind of longer green runs there. Kind of surprising, but tell us about there at the end, how you got around Dustin. I thought you were set for third, but you ended up second.
Well, I actually should have been up with Bradner battling him to win this thing. We come down through, I don't know, somewhere 10, 15 to go or so, and I had a heck of a run coming off of 2 on Dustin, and right as I was fixing to pull out to drive under him going into 3, Bradner moved out about half a second sooner, so I couldn't make my move. Then I plowed the wall coming out of 4 because I wasn't set up to enter the corner high like that, and just fell back and had to drive like crazy just to get back up with Dustin. Got beside of him with about 5 or 6 to go in 1, and he pinched me down there a little bit and just about wadded us both up, but was able to keep going and went off. I got another run coming off of 2 and was able to get under him after we took the white flag and just made it stick in 3.
Yeah, we were following you live when you hit the wall there. You were getting up out of the way, letting those guys go by, and tapped it. And it doesn't look, ever since then, it looked like it was just tough for you to get back up there. Brander was making a half second on you guys there on the last few laps. But hey, great run. You were up in the top 5 most of that day. You got any shout outs?
Yeah, I mean, of course, give a shout out to you guys at MaxSpeedTV, you and Crash D'Amico for putting the broadcast on and doing it. It's always great to hear. I've always got it played on my TV next to me so I can hear it and kind of check out what's going on. Ream, and like I say, my teammates, congratulations to Thomas Brander on the win and Perryman for finishing 5th, I believe.
All right. Well, thanks, Thanks, Thomas Lee. Congratulations on the second place finish. This is really going to help you in the points. I believe Thomas Lee is our provisional points leader with 2 events complete because Travis Townsend did not make it tonight. So he won last week. Thomas Lee wins tonight. Should be interesting in the points. We'll have to see next week. Make sure to join us then. Let's take a look at our finishing order. Finishing order, Thomas Brander in the 24 is our winner. Thomas Lee coming home second in that 33. As I stated, looks like he's going to end up being our points leader with first and third place not showing up today to take part in the event. So they're going to take a bye this week, obviously. So we'll see how the points shake out here. Dustin Lee finishes third in the 51. Finished fourth last week. So I believe he's going to end up being second in overall points after tonight. Ryan Eckstein in 22 finishes fourth. Christopher Perryman in the 21 finishes fifth. Mark Robertson, who came out of nowhere, was not running really in the top 10 most of the day, but nice respectable finish in sixth with only 8 cars on the lead lap. Good job, Mark. Michael Norris as well, a good run in the 54 car, finishing up 7th. Tom Serrato, 8th. Our last car on the lead lap. Very surprising considering the acrobats that Serrato was doing down the backstretch earlier under that caution to create a caution. That's going to definitely make the highlights reel on ESPN. So good job on the flips there, Serrato, but good run on the lead lap too there in finishing 8th. We got 3 cars, 1 lap down. Edward Smith, Andrew Williams, and Robert Craze. And then finishing behind the wall, many laps down, Kevin O'Brien, who took a visit to the water barrels at the beginning of pit road to end his day. Obviously, that's a tough place. We saw Ed Hewitt get into that as well. Tough break with Ed. I saw some steering issues on his car tonight. He's going to have to get that straightened out with his crew. And Derek Cormier, and finally Jonathan Thomas, 58 laps down and 15th. Thank you for joining us on Maximum Speed Racing, our nationwide series. Please join us next week, Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for Atlanta. 100 laps at Atlanta, January 23rd. Looking forward to that. We'll have updated points for you. Stay tuned. It's going to be a nail biter right down to the end. Thanks to Michael D'Amico up in the booth, Ed Hewitt over at Maximum Speed Racing, Rudy Cummings over at MaxSpeedTV, and all the drivers and listeners out there. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.